I don't think he needs any introduction. When we were fighting City Time, and I don't want to go through the whole thing, but he was the first person to take that issue and expose those contractors, SAIC, who were squeezing the city. And not only that, he made them pay $500 million back to the city of New York. Right? So thank you so much, Dr. Liu. At this time, I want to give you the microphone, and this is your card.
Local 375. I don't know, I thought this was Local 375. Great to be with all of you here tonight. Thank you very much, Claude, for inviting me. This is a very special meeting. I know there is a lot of business to discuss, but I think, I feel like I'm at home because all the years that I run for office, and I pride myself, I'm not a career politician. I have actually spent most of my career outside of government, outside of politics. But a number of years ago, I decided that I wanted to give something back to this great city that gave me and my family, as immigrants to this country, tremendous opportunities to pursue the American dream. So I ran for city council. It was a tough race. But from the very beginning, Local 375 has always been with me, and I've never ever forgotten that. And we still got a process to go through, right? There's a lot to discuss, and there's a lot of work that we have ahead of us. But I know that 375 has always been for the members, but also for the people of New York City. Now, this is a union that prides itself on the professionalism of the members and the quality of the work that you do. So when I was a member of the City Council, it was 375. It was among the first organizations to bring to me the problem of city time. And I, as a contracts committee member in the City Council, I knew about it already. So when I took office as controller, I hit the ground running knowing that city time was going to be something I was looking for. And sure enough, my first month as a member, as the city controller, Mr. Bloomberg sent me another contract for city time. We caught it right away. And we said, no thanks. Sent that contract back, rejected it, and started an audit. And not only did we not allow any more money to go into city time, we started an audit that then led a couple of years later to the investigation that recouped $500 million, billion with a B, $500 million for the people of New York City. And it's in large part due to the work of 375 that allowed us to get to that point. So I want to say thank you on behalf of the people of New York City. Thank you to Local 375 for all of your work. And unfortunately, city time is just one example, because there are too many other examples where all these expensive consultants are brought in from the outside. Ms. Roberts, Lillian Roberts, had a $9 billion white paper that I refer to often that gave me examples of many other kinds of consulting contracts that were wasting too much money out the back door and disregarding the abilities of the people that already work for the city. City employees who have invested, like many of you, invested your lives and your careers into the success of what New York City can and should be about. And yet, for how many years now? For how many years? It's been zeros. How many years are you now working with an expired contract? And it's not just over three. And it's not just Local 375 members, and it's not just DC 37 members. It's 300,000 employees, 300,000 city employees here in New York. Back in 2008, when the mayor and the speaker extended those term limits, something that I vociferously opposed I was not going to have anything to do with that. The argument was, Mike Bloomberg is an economic genius. We need him. That was the argument. Remember that? How ridiculous does that sound now? What kind of a financial genius manages a city and continues or forces 300,000 employees to work on expired contracts, leaving us a huge tab to have to pay before he leaves office? We're going to keep the pressure up. Today, he made an announcement. He made an announcement that, oh, you guys will get raises, but you have to pay for your medical. I mean, that's not an exchange in any way that is palatable or acceptable. There's got to be a real negotiation. And now there's not going to be any magic solutions. I can't promise you everything. I know 11%. Claude's like 11%, 11%, 11%. Claude's like, I'm going to be going to sleep tonight and going to hear Claude say 11%. I thought that was just a catch up to 2013. I know that there's a big bill that the city of New York is being left with by Mayor Bloomberg, who is supposed to avert all of this stuff because he was indispensable as a financial genius that we needed a third term for. So obviously all that has gone out the window. Maybe I can just talk without the mic. Oh, okay. Thanks. Yeah, I think it's the battery. I think if any local has members that would understand that, it would be 375. So we've got a lot of issues to deal with between the retroactive pay increases. You know, the mayor says there will be no retroactive pay increases, and yet under his entire administration, pretty much every single collective bargaining has included retroactive pay increases. Now, you know, it's one thing for him to do something or say something. It's another thing for him to think that he's going to tie the hands of the next people. And if you think about the increases, you know, city employees under this administration get treated like dirt. No increases, zeros for you guys. Meanwhile, consultants like SCIC and the other consultants that are working on all those money pit projects that are wasting billions out the door, they get automatic yearly increases. So this is the kind of priority that this administration has placed, the kind of value that they insult us with on our city employees, and yet throw so much money out the back door with all these high-priced consultants. This has to stop. This has to stop. And this will stop. Because going forward, there's a lot of these consulting agreements that are too costly. We just can't afford them anymore. We have to value those who actually make this city work and work well. So going forward, that's going to have to be a discussion. And again, I don't know exactly where we're going to be once January 1st comes along, but you can rest assured that you have this from me, that I will be sitting right next to Claude and Lillian and all the leaders here to figure out how best to move forward in a way that everybody shares in the pain, but everybody will share in the benefits as well. A benefit of an economic recovery that is shared by everybody. When we start fixing the fiscal priorities, stop sending billions out the door to subsidize private corporations when they're not actually creating jobs for our people in this city. Stop having a tax code where the very wealthy pay pretty much the same rate as everybody in this room. It's not a progressive system we have. We have to change that. There are so many things that I'm looking forward to doing, and I know that with your support we're going to get there, because this is a city that is, in my humble and unbiased opinion, the greatest city in the world. It's a city that holds the promise of the American dream and New York itself, that if you work hard, you dream big, you work even harder, you can make it. But in recent years, that promise has been lost for too many people. We've got to restore that promise. We've got to restore that promise, whether you work in city agencies, whether you're at the Transit Authority, you're at NYCHA, we've got to restore that promise for everybody here in New York City. And that's precisely why I am running for mayor. I want to make these changes. And when I get there, I'm not going to have my finger up in the air trying to figure out which way the winds are blowing, who's going to criticize me, or, because there's nothing more that those people who criticize me can do to me. All right? They've run me through the ringer.
John.
They've thrown everything in the kitchen sink at me, right, Michelle?
Yes, brother.
And you know what? The stove is on its way. They'll tee up the refrigerator after that. But nothing will ever stop me from doing the right thing and working right alongside Local 375. So, once again, I want to thank Claude, his leadership. Thanks to the rest of the board here, Michelle, George, Ahmed, Nita. I think a couple of people are missing from the board. That's right. Good to see you guys. Natalia, Hari, Dorita, Jamila, Stacy, Larry. Man, I'm digging myself a deeper hole here. I got a quill on the head. We've got a lot of work ahead of us. And this is an election that's not going to be easy to win. But we're going to win this because we're on the right side of things. So let's move forward from here. Thank you very much, Claude. Local 375, we've got an election to win and a city to change. Thank you so much, brothers and sisters.
Take care of yourself, you and your family.
Thank you, Bonjour.